Hello, my name is Rich. I use the he, him pronouns, and you're watching my YouTube channel where I play amazing tabletop role-playing games with friends. This is st Saturday as we play, and therefore it is Star Wars Saturdays, and we are playing Star Wars Saturdays, this ongoing anthology campaign, 6 years running, where I run different tabletop RPGs, none of which are officially licensed Star Wars RPGs, hack drift, remix them somehow to present them as a Star Wars thing, and folks from the Open Hearth community gathered together with me. We tell stories together. We're playing a bi-monthly, meaning we're playing for 2 months, probably. Although we had to miss last week because of me, and who knows? Maybe March will bleed into March a little bit, get a few more plays of Stellar Conflict. Stellar Conflict is this game that was never officially finished that I know of. Was released on Google Plus. Oh, pour one out for Google Plus. Do so miss it. But released on Google Plus, and I've scraped together what could be found. Brian Loss pointed me to this thing. It is a Dungeon World hack. Dungeon World, a little old in the tooth for Powered by the Apocalypse RPGs, one of the originals, one of the first hacks of it. And this has a lot of the Dungeon World DNA in it. I have refreshed it a little bit with some Stonetop moves, meaning Stonetop game that is still in development, but is the well, I used to say the closest thing we'll get to Dungeon World Second Edition, but it may be a very untrue statement. So it is Stonetop is Dungeon World-ish, but it's its own thing. But it does have a lot of the core moves. I like the way that they are phrased. Strandberg, I believe, is a designer, and I just really enjoy the way he approached those moves, and I think the language is cleaner. So took those, dropped those in, then renamed some of them to make them feel a little more Star Warsy. So this is like a hack of a hack of a hack. Welcome. So we have gone through character creation, a little bit of world creation, and a lot of bit of chitter chatter, and this will be our first session. Let's go around the horn. Unfortunately, Kay stuck in some traffic, not able to join us, but we do have four. That is quorum, and we are gonna play. I'm gonna start from the right-hand side of the character keeper, heading towards the left. So, Greg, if you could introduce yourself and remind us about your character.
Hi, I'm Greg. I use he, him pronouns. I'll be playing Valara Nova, Knight Valara Nova. Uses she, her pronouns. Playing the soldier playbook. Part of this. Oh goodness, what's the Tapani sector? Thank you, character keeper. Part of the Tapani sector is that there's many houses. I am a member of House Pelagia, which has deep, long, old ties to the Jedi Order, and there's a lot of people called saber rakes, and Valara is one of them. Saber rakes are people who use lightsabers but are not in any way Jedi, but they will throw down and duel anytime. Here to sort of defend the honor of House Pelagia, and let's see, what's my bond with Rix? Because that's going to be next here. I have promised to protect the wonderful Rix, and possibly, I don't like that because Rix isn't associated with the house.
Why did you make that promise? We'll have to discover that and play. Then we are moving to the left, which means it's Steven's turn. Introduce yourself. Tell us about Rick's.
Hi, my name is Steven. My pronouns are he, him. I'm playing Rix Barrand, whose pronouns are also he, him. Um, Rix is the scoundrel playbook, which means that he um, steals and sneaks around and tries to con his way into things. He is not a part of one of the houses that is around here, but he was lucky enough to be able to sneak his way in to get jobs and that kind of stuff. He has some maybe possibly blackmail material on one of the houses, which is why they're allowing him to do stuff for them. Um, and yeah,
I assume the Black Man material, as far as anyone who knows that it exists, like Rix has a backup plan. Somebody couldn't walk up, shoot Rix in the back of the head, and solve the blackmail material problem, correct?
yeah, that's a good idea.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Excellent. So
Rix
we're
is a
skipping.
long-term thinker. Okay.
Good. Yes. Oh, yes, exactly that. We'll skip over to Keith.
I am Keith Stetson. I use the he, him pronouns, and I am playing Dod Badu, a Rhodian, which is unusual in the Tapani sector, very heavily human, not a lot of non-human sentience running around out here. And in fact, she is not from here. She is from Singe's Empire? Question mark. That's where we saw her last anyway. Uh, palling around with an ex-Jedi and an old clone trooper. So, she's had some interesting adventures and she aims to continue them. She's been adopted by House Calypsa, which is a very heavenly merchant influenced house. And she kind of has a different uh, viewpoint of what this interaction is, that she's more of an independent contractor as opposed to a pawn to be used for however they want. So we'll see how that works out in play. And she really, really wishes she had the panache of a Rix in order to have that blackmail and those long-term thinking and plans like that. Rix knows how to work outside of the house system, and that is certainly one thing that Dot is hoping to figure out as we go through the game.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Keith. Last but not least is Mark.
Yeah, I'm Mark. I use he and them, and I am playing Maxon, the bounty hunter. Maxon's also with House Pelagia, but a little bit more on the mercenary side of things. Although he is faithful to the house, he definitely is interested in getting paid for doing the things. What's my bond with my friend there? Yeah, Valeria has my back when things go wrong. So yeah, I'm curious to see how that kind of the house loyalty versus got to get paid thing works out.
Me too. And just to talk a little bit, so Dodd is part of Calypsa, but doesn't carry a title. Is that correct? Or does?
Does not.
Okay. Valara is part of House Pelagia, carries a title, but wasn't born into it. Is that correct, Greg?
Carries was not born into the title. No, earned the title.
Cool. And then Mark from Maxon. Maxon is just allied to the house, but
Hmm.
not a
Yeah,
noble.
not noble, not titled. Maybe I don't think even aspirational. Just like yeah, we'll see how it comes out.
Sounds good.
I've
Awesome.
got stuff up there.
And then Rix is a commoner. So, everyone, please, if you could, thanks so much to Greg leading the way. But I know several people threw in ideas. If you take a look, we now have a house move for everyone. It's on row 26 at the start of the session here, or when your heritage inconveniences you. But we're saying the start of the session. Roll plus whiz. That is short for wisdom, which is not exactly a dumb stat for this crew. I'm excited to say you guys are relatively wise. It's so cool. But go ahead and use our new die roller, roll that, and you'll see just above the house move on row 25. Thanks for the suggestion. I've added a little place where you can put your hold. And what the hold does is this is a heritage move thing, which was part of Dungeon World development at the time of this game. It just allows you to narratively say some things that will be true. For example, Dodd, you could spin to hold to use wealth to solve a problem. Or you could use wealth to find a middle way between the light and dark sides. This is like brand new, this whole thing. So if we go through it and we're like, hey, maybe we could tweak this, I'm completely open to it. I think it's a cool new thing to throw out there. It helps us to reflect the flavors of these various houses in play and give you a little bit of narrative authority. So please do record your hold. Looks like some folks have rolled middling. One person's rolled extremely well. So there we go. That's what I'm hoping to see. All right. Uh, Rix is the captain, correct? You're the captain. It's your ship, the Knight Insurgent, correct?
It has been provided to me on loan. Yes.
On loan. I see. On loan from which house?
Let's see. It's on loan from Barnaba.
Oh,
Just so we're all on the same page, I have in my notes that I had one of my items of gear is something expensive that doesn't technically belong to me. This is blackmail material on Barnaba regarding how they backstabbed House Calypsa, and House Calypsa does not know.
all right. So the Night Insurgent is a Corellian Engineering Corporation Vanguard class heavy assault gunship. It is able to pack a punch. And that is where we begin our session. So, real quick, just to get an idea of where people orient themselves on the ship as we kick things off. I'll ask Dodd. When the beginning of our episode, think like Star Wars TV show, Star Trek TV show, music, intro, synopses of characters as played bys. Where in the opening of this episode do we see Dodd Badu? And I assume Dodd's with their droid.
That is true. TA would be there, and I think it is uh probably main engineering then, looking at the deck plan here, giving a little touch up to TA. Nothing
Okay.
major, there's nothing wrong, just a little bit. Oh, this might make you work just the slightest bit better, buddy. You've got that little ache and pain. I'll take care of it for you.
Nice. Nice. Cool. I like that a lot. And is Dodd's relationship to TA like owner pet?
Yeah, I would say it's something like that. That there's definitely there's a hierarchy, but also those like who really owns who. He's such a little sweetheart.
Sweet. When we swing over the camera's focus to Maxon, where upon the ship can we find you?
Probably in his quarters, um, attending to his little personal arsenal, getting everything cleaned and ready and charged and loaded, and just preparing for the day.
Cool. Is he in one of the number six or number nine? The port side or the starboard
Oh
side?
yeah, let me take a look. He is in, let's say, the starboard side. Yeah, nine.
Cool. Excellent. Then Valara Nova, where do we see you? We know that Maxon working on maintaining equipment, Dodd working on maintaining droid. What is Valara doing?
We're in hyperspace.
We are in hyperspace when
Okay.
we begin. Thank you for asking that clarifying question.
So we see Valara asleep in one of the chairs on the command deck.
Hmm.
The uh, the lights of the hyperspace going past her kind of reflect off her. She's fully armored, and asleep at the not the like the helm, but sort of the engineering, the third person on the airplane that we no longer have, um, the engineer position, waiting for us to come out of hyperspace.
Is this a normal thing? Like from the, I assume Rix, you are captaining the ship. From Rix's demeanor, this is no big deal. This is not a recent thing. This is normal. Is that how Valara, how you see it for Valara's napping on the job,
Well,
power nap on the job? So Greg, sorry, that was a
oh,
question for
that
you to
was that
define.
was a question
Yes,
for me.
yes. Sorry,
Okay.
I jumped
Um,
around, but let me.
That's okay. So, yeah, no, this is Valara's constant vigilance. In hyperspace, it's very unlikely that we're going to encounter any problems, but as soon as we come out of hyperspace, she's right there, ready to go.
Cool. Rix, do you invite Valara to come up onto the command deck? Is that a normal thing, or is that just Valar has decided she must be there with the view screens and the being ready to protect the ship?
I am not a picky captain. If one of the crew members decides they want to come up here and nap, I'm fine with that as long as they don't hurt anything. The second they do, I'm gonna excuse them from the command center so that we can do our job in a charming kind of way and say, wouldn't you be better in your bunk or something like that? Here's something to go sleep it off, something like that. But
Cool.
in general, Valera's been great.
Excellent. So, this is a ship that is normally crewed by 4 to 6 people, which I am saying specifically to give permission. I think we have a few NPCs who are here. We will run into them. I will introduce them, or you will introduce them as needed. Uh, and with that in mind, Rix, do you have a co-pilot or someone that is basically the flies the ship when you got better things to do?
Um, I think there probably is someone. Um, and I think this is probably someone from what house is it? From House Barnabas?
Ooh, okay. So a Barnaba?
Barnarba. Yeah. I figure they're the co-pilot and they have been I'm sure they've been sent to watch me.
That makes sense. That makes
Yeah.
absolute sense. So
Speaking of which, I might pick someone from the NPCs tab.
that sounds great. There are only 2 Barnabans, one of which please do not choose because they've got better things to do. Um, but we can absolutely. I've got a bunch of Pinterest pictures, so and their Pinterest is out there for anyone and everyone. Feel free to throw someone out there. Excellent. So, you are flying the ship, Rix, when you're in light speed, and I will ask just this general question: Are you, and if you want to look in the Tapani sector, are you headed towards the Free Worlds region, taking something out, or are you returning back to um, Pelagon or one of the other, like maybe House Calypsa? Calypsa, but sorry, Pelagon and Calypsa are the home worlds of those 2 houses.
I think we are returning with some cargo to Pelagon. And by the way, I made some decisions for the ship. Um, I think I named it, and
Yes, the
then I
Knight
also
Insurgent. I love it, and it's Knight with an N. Not that things are spelled the same way in Star Wars, but we the players know Knight with
um
not a K.
then there was a weapons choice
Mm-hmm.
that I made from based off the picture, and then a couple of extra system choices. I gave us extra shields and extra engines.
Excellent. Cool.
Okay.
Sweet. So, flying along, heading through light speed. We have the lights streaming past of the stars as you pass by. You're headed to Pelagon. You're a couple hours away. Um, Dodd. Um, TA is you're finishing up all of the little upgrades for TA. Maybe you slide another motherboard or something inside, and you're closing the little bit when you hear a pop, and you're in the engineering compartment, so you hear like a pop and then smell burning plastic. What do you do?
I mean, where is the smell coming from?
It's coming from well, you're in the engineering. Um, it is coming from the port side. And
Oh,
as
okay.
you head through the door, remember there are no door handles in Star Wars, which I think is amusing. No door handles, no zippers. So as you head through the door, you see that there's a panel that is smoking on the port side engine.
I mean, I feel like I can take care of this. Sure, why not?
Absolutely. You
Let's
certainly
investigate.
can. Cool. So let's take a look at our basic moves. And in our basic moves, or if you have a move as a fringer that you would rather use, like Jerry Rig, of course, is probably not a bad idea. But as you take a look at the thing, um, let's have you seek insight first, just to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, that
Sound
sounds
good?
good. Before I decide what I want to do with this thing, I would like to know what's going on.
Awesome.
Um, there it is. So that is study situation in person, and it's plus whiz, which is a +0 for me. So let's see what we get.
Cool.
Wasn't so
As
good
you're
last
doing
time.
that roll, Keith, I'm going to jump forward to Rick's. Rick's a little warning sensor goes off with a soft chime. Valara, is it loud enough to wake you up? It's totally in your hands. Wheat, wheat,
Yeah, I
wheat,
think a little
wheat.
eyes open.
Cool. Yeah, your eyes open and you see this little red light flicking. Rick's, it's a problem with the hyperspace engine.
Ooh.
It is starting to overheat. And when you check down on one of the little gauges, it's got the little red part, which we all know when it goes in the red, you,
Yeah.
problems are happening.
So I reach over and I flick it a couple of times with my finger to see if it's just a faulty sensor, and I think that's whenever I punch in um like the directions, find us a safe place to exit hyperspace, because if we just pop out, we're going to roll. We've seen this before. We don't want to pop out anywhere, but we want a safe place where we can just stop, um and preferably place to someplace close to someplace populated.
Okay, cool. So you're going to start trying to find some place to drop out of hyperspace. Let's shift back to Dodd. And how did you roll? Looks like you got a 7 plus 1, an 8, a middling result.
Just a 7. I don't have the +1.
Oh, I'm sorry. You
But
said you had a 0.
same deal. Ask one question, either way, gain advantage on your next move that acts on the answers. So I am wondering, what should I be on the lookout for here?
Ooh. So you can see that the panel, as you pull it off quickly to check out what's going on, is the control matrix for the hyperspace engine. And there's a small little fire burning away at some of that control matrix.
That's not what you want.
So what should you be on the lookout for? That control matrix can effectively make it difficult to directionally, like, to determine which way you're going on while in hyperspace. The propulsion system and the control drive, basically, it's going to throw your astrogation off.
All right, then that does seem like a thing I should jury rig after I pop on and tell Rick's. I mean, Rick's already knows, right? So
I was gonna have Valara flick on the all comms to the engineer. Dodd,
okay,
are you on this?
I got it. At least for a time. Don't worry. But we should find safe harbor.
Working on it.
Cool.
Shall I roll a jury rig?
Please do.
And I get advantage now thanks to that previous roll, which is lovely. Let's see what happens. So yeah, that's going to be at least an 11. I forget what it's rolling with, but that's fine.
Ooh, very nice.
Plus
Very
int.
nice. Okay, on a 10 plus, it'll hold together just as long as you need it to.
There you go. That's
Fantastic.
exactly as long as we want.
Okay. So yeah, Dodd, you rewire a few things. You reach in with your fingers. Maybe TA comes in and has a little connector as well. And Rix, you can drop out of hyperspace. Uh, when you do, you see that you've overshot as you start to gather where you are. You guys, you drop out of hyperspace. Maxon, you guys weren't supposed to come out of hyperspace for another couple of hours. You just
Yep.
heard Valara's totally cool, not at all concerned conversation over all comms with Dodd.
Yep.
Uh, what do you do?
Yeah, just pop up to the front, like get whatever I've got on. Just get up there and be like, "What? Where are we? And how long before we get to where we're going? What's happening?"
So we had to drop out of hyperspace. There's been a malfunction in the ship, um, and we've got the repair guy looking at it. Repair lady looking at it. Excuse me.
Mm.
Um,
The
and
rodeo. Yeah.
I turn to Valera and say, "Sensor suite to see where we are."
Cool. Yeah. You want to do a sensor sweep? That sounds great.
Yeah.
When you scan a planet or area of
Area of
space, roll plus
space.
wisdom.
I'm on it, Captain. Give me a second. Roll plus wisdom. That is a 9.
Excellent.
How does
None
helping
of these
work here?
questions are where are we? Um
So
uh
there, before you commit,
yeah.
there is a question Stephen had asked. So aid, it's called aid when you help someone. So I'm probably going to rephrase this because it says when you help someone who has not yet rolled.
Uh,
You got
Sorry.
a bond. So I'm cool with helping after the thing. GM picks one. I'm gonna, if you want to determine, Stephen, that Rix helps out, then Valar can roll with advantage for this roll. So you can
Okay.
just roll another d6 and take the better of the three, better two of the
And
three.
in general, um, I did give the direction. Hey, go, check out what's here. You're at that console. Um, and I'm in charge of the ship right now, so I want to make sure we get where we want to. So I think this is important enough that I'll take the consequences as well. Is this one of the things that whatever the consequence is, if there's something bad, we both take it, or
Yeah,
okay,
you're both exposed to any risk, cost, or consequence associated with the roll.
that sounds perfect.
So Valara, if you want to roll one more
One
die,
more die.
you've got a 2, a 6, and a 4. So a 6 and a 4, that goes from a middling result to a 10 plus,
10.
which gives
Yes.
you 3 questions instead of just one.
What other ships are here?
Hey, what a great question. So, uh, like Rich has a problem of over answering and invalidating the questions. So Rich is just going to answer that question.
Okay.
Um,
Don't worry, I've got other
you
follow-ups.
you ping out. Yes, you do. Um, there is a another ship out. Um, it is caught. It appears to be caught in a um, oh shit, like in an orbit, like a gravitational pull. That's the words. Rich
Hmm.
Rich should learn more science words.
Gravity well.
So is caught in the gravity well of a small asteroid field. It uh, is not moving. Like it's static. It's caught in that gravity well. You do not see any. The engines are dark
Are
there.
there signs of life on that ship? Are there signs of life here?
Ooh. There are some life signs from coming from that ship. Yes.
What is the biggest threat here?
Mm. What is the biggest threat? So it is currently in that gravity well of the asteroid field. You can tell it's been there for a while, and it's probably, going in there is going to be a little dangerous.
Okay. Valara kind of pushes several buttons, and I assume there's some sort of central little hollow emitter thing, right? It's a Star Wars bridge.
Hmm.
Um, Not much out here, Captain, but we've got a ship out in the asteroids. It presses it up. There are some signs of life, but no transponder, no beacon.
It's not responding to hails.
Yeah, seems to be dead quiet.
Are
A
the
little
are the ships
suspicious.
are the ships of the different houses visually distinct in any way, or are they we just going by?
They um
Yeah.
there are some that have like uh Rena has specific design
Mhm.
aspects. Um because they are very technically motivated. Calypsa has certain, but they're all marked by house
Right.
insignias.
Are there house markings on this one?
Yes, House Pelagia, actually.
Oh,
I think we need to
Maxon,
go
you're
in.
moving into like you've come up to.
yeah, yeah. It's up there in the control center there with that branch harness.
Hey, Maxon, you recognize the design of this ship
Oh,
and its name. I'll put this in chat. It is, you've heard of it. It is the Nebula Scion.
this is the nebulous ion.
It was lost during the Machetti. Are we going to say Machetti or Massetti? What do we prefer for the house name?
Mm,
Whichever one you want to go with.
Okay.
I'm gonna say
No,
how
no one has
how,
strong
how
opinions.
Italian is the house?
yeah,
No,
Let's do
They've-
McKetty.
Machetti.
McKetty.
Okay.
It was lost during the Machetti Purge about 20 years ago. The Machetti Purge, that's the Jedi Purge during the Imperial time.
And there's life signs still on it.
There are life signs on there, yes.
So does Maxon share that with the crew?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, this seems like quite a fortuitous place to have emerged from hyperspace then.
A little bit too fortuitous.
Valera was the I'm sorry, not Valera. Dodd was the thing that broke. Was that deliberate?
I don't know that I can answer that question. Rich, can I answer that question?
Do
Just
you have
guess,
any?
Dodd. It's fine.
Do you have any questions left? Because I think you had three. Did you have any?
No, I didn't for that one. That was just the one. So it's
You were just busy trying to get
yeah.
it working and fixed and making sure.
It's you know what? I will say this to make myself sound smarter. If someone did it deliberately, they did a good enough job that it appeared accidental.
Oh, good. Okay. Yeah. So I think, I turn to Max and I say, so far, keep our eyes out for anything, but it looks like it was just an accident. Let's see if we can't get closer. There's a gravity well out there that we should be careful about. And our ship isn't big enough to have a tractor beam.
Right.
But we could probably launch a tow cable if we could get close enough.
I volunteer.
Awesome.
I don't think we need you as a grappling hook yet, Valara, but if we do, I'll let you know. So
Just toss her out there.
I will go prepare myself just in case. And like she's immediately going to put on a spacesuit. Like Laura's convinced this is the only way.
Classic saber rake.
True. So true. Okay.
So I turn to Maxon, who has a history of this, and I say, so what do you know else? What else do you know about the Nebula Scion, like its mission or anything like that? Just because, if we're going to pull this out, we want to make sure it's not a bomb. And Valera seems very interested in going over. So if she wants to go over first and check everything out, it might be worthwhile. But I still think we should move it to safety if we can.
If you would like to know things, feel free.
We actually have an ancient tradition about lost ships in House Pelagia. The ancient tradition states that if a ship has been lost for if we've lost contact with a ship for more than a generation, and you come across it, you are duty bound to retrieve it for the house, and if you do so successfully, it is yours. However, if you the more ancient punishment, if ignored, there's not only if it is discovered that you do not retrieve a lost ship. Not only are there you know penal penalties, but a curse will fall upon you. It's said. I've never actually seen that come to fruition, but that's what they say.
Well, I certainly like that first part about the money and fortune of getting an ancient ship and whatever's on it. Whatever's on it?
Everything on it.
Hey, Dodd. Um, this is technically now where you are in one of the not well explored Calypsa province areas.
Hmm.
It was part of House Pelagia before the purge. Now it's technically in Calypsa bounds.
Remind me of the Pelagia Calypsa relationship.
Uh, Pelagia, big purge because of the Jedi, their strong relationship with the Jedi. Calypsa ended up bailing them out by buying a ton of their um, planets.
But it's not outright hostile or anything like that.
Correct.
They're not buddy buddy, but they're okay. Uh, so this could have been here since it was Pelagia territory,
Very likely.
or
Oh crap! I'm so sorry. It's the C words. I got the houses confused.
okay.
Sorry. Cadrian.
Hmm.
So you're in Cadrian space. How? So Pelagia had to sell off a bunch of his worlds. Sorry, I misspoke. I'm so sorry. But Cadrian, and they have a generally, you know, they have a murky relationship now, right? Because Cadrian helped Pelagia to remain intact, but also there are a bunch of folks who used to be Pelagian who are now house nobles of Cadrian. Sorry. Let me. Holy shit. Okay. I really screwed up. 8 of their systems were ceded to House Calypso. I was right the first time, and then I got nervous. This is terrible and embarrassing. So, what I said the first time, 8 of the Pelagian systems were ceded to House Calypsa, and they lost 70% of their seats in the Great Council because of the fall of Pelagia. So I was right, because I was thinking it would be really great if there was like Pelagia, Calypsa, and then I got nervous and misspoke in the middle. So, let me hand it back to you, Keith. Ask questions if you want. I'm sorry I've muddied things up a bunch.
No, it was the first thing. I'll just pay
It's the
attention to the
first thing.
first thing. Yeah. Um, so I mean, presumably we're going to think that this ship has been here since before the handover. But given that there's been a handover, does that mean that Calypsa is going to want a bite of the apple if there is anything worthwhile on this ship? And how does
Well,
that play into ancient traditions and or more ancient punishments?
Yes.
if it's our claim, it's our claim.
Uh-huh.
If someone wants to take it from us, they can try.
Well, we needn't worry about that.
I'm not.
I take that as more intimidating, maybe, that no, that was intimidating. Okay.
Yep.
Just like, okay. And I think instead of talking to Maxon at that point, I turn to TA and be like, what do you think could be on there? Beep, boop, beep, boop, boop. Really, that much? Oh,
I have a picture of the nebulous scion, so just so you can get an idea of its scale. Sorry, I have a bunch of pictures. Let me get rid of a bunch of them so that I'm not causing confusion. Actually, I have this, so I'll just do this instead. That is Sorry. Here we go. So I'll share screens and then I'll share the link in case folks want to look. There we go. The Nebula Scion. So you can see it's nice, traditional phallic shaped ship.
And size compared to ours, I mean, is this
Smaller.
something? It's smaller. Okay, fantastic. So it's something we could potentially tow out.
Yes.
Are we getting closer?
Yeah.
And we should get close enough that we could launch a tow cable. Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. Tow cable. Totally.
Okay. Cool. Let's have you attempt to attach some tow cables then.
So Valara is fully suited. Has put on her helmet. The lights for the camera have turned on to show her face within the darkened helmet. Um, and
Awesome.
I am swearing to this mission because this is my thing.
Yeah, you make a oath, right?
I am going to rescue the people uh from the oh goodness, we lost the ship again. The Nebula Scion. And I am going to do this for duty.
Okay.
Okay.
Um,
Cool.
the GM will grant me a boon.
So I've got a bad feeling about this. Um, this means I get. I'm sorry. Did I interrupt, Greg?
No, no, no.
Okay.
I just need to get a boon from Rich.
Okay.
None who no, bleh. None who witness my dedication will fail to be impressed. You will always know who my enemy is. I'm immune to common obstacles, or you do not have the tools necessary to complete the mission, but you know exactly where they are.
Ooh, I like the immune to some common obstacles that might otherwise stymie your mission. And I
Okay.
think you get to just like declare that that's true, right?
Yeah, that's yeah. I think so. There's no mechanics around that, so
Sweet.
she's grabbing that tow cable and jumping out the airlock.
Crazy. Love it.
Okay. So I've got a bad feeling about this, and what that is I get to spend a moment surveying the area and ask two of the following questions, and the GM must answer truthfully. Um, is there a trap or ambush here, and if so, where?
Ooh, that's great that I have to answer that question. I love it. Sweet. Um, you are watching carefully as Valara heads out. Like, Valara, you're just gonna like go on board that ship, right?
Oh,
You're
well, I'm attaching the tow cable. That's what's expected of me.
okay.
I am forbidden from refusing what is expected of me. So I'm attaching the tow cable, but I'm looking for a hatch. Yeah.
Okay. So Valara's moved across. You're watching closely, Rix. You have a bad feeling about this. You see that the life support systems are off on the ship, so any artificial gravity would not be functional. But Rix, you also see, as you just happen to catch a hint of movement through one of the portholes looking into the ship. There's something moving in the ship, and the way that it moved, it was not a person, but it seemed like some kind of undulating serpent-like thing.
Um, so my next question is, the wording is, where's my best way in, out, or through? I think this is where, what's my best way? Oh no, what is Valara's best way into the ship? Safest way into the ship. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, safest way onto the ship. You, as we're taking a look at this fine ship, there's a main airlock at 14 on the ship. So, oh, shared the wrong again. I got a 50-50 shot. I have a newer computer and it's flipped my monitors, so my default setting of the right hand monitor is wrong. This is where the main airlock of the Nebula Scion is located. That's the easiest way to get into it. Alternatively, You could try to enter through the engines, but that is likely going to be a tight fit.
So I radio to Valar and I say, heads up, those life signals are funky. They're not. I'm seeing things that aren't human. Um, it's possible that this ship was taken over by creatures. Um, and you don't have any backup.
I am
Um,
duty bound.
She's got
can,
backup.
can we get you? Can we pull the ship free before you enter? And this is negotiation, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and real quick, Mark, you set the precedent. Uh, would moving the ship violate this ancient tradition?
Oh, I don't think so. I think
Okay,
that's I mean, moving a ship is part of getting the ship, right?
That makes
fair.
sense. Cool.
But
So
yeah, I think there is a room for negotiation here. Valar is not really, she's a little crazy about getting in there and helping people.
it sounds like you're pressing or enticing a PC, and there's been some slight resistance um, from Valara. So, Rix, do you want to try the charm a PC move?
Sure.
Mm.
I
In your
roll
yeah,
charisma. Okay.
in your comms, I think just to add the little flavor here, why you have to press Valara. She is just reciting. I put a little poem at the bottom of her character keeper. She's not answering you. I am the wind upon the ocean. I am the tide upon the rocks. I am the path in the darkened wood. I am the light guides the way. It's just like repeating that over and over. You're like, oh my God, she's crazy.
Delightful.
Okay, so I'm gonna roll. My charisma is +1. I needed it. That's a 7.
Nice.
Okay, so with this move, charm a PC, on uh on a 7 to 9, you can mark XP if you do what Rix has asked.
Oh, I'm reading Charmin NPC. Sorry. Okay.
Oh,
Uh,
yes, charm a PC.
yeah, I'll mark the XP. So Valara, she's just saying it, and then there's a moment where she's like gotten to the hull, right? And she hits the handholds and goes a little bit too far. Um, comes back, and she hears you. She hesitates for a moment, but then she attaches the tow cable and twists it to lock it, and then gives the big like winching motion, like, all right, let's pull it back. Let's pull it back.
Awesome. So you, Rix, can, if you want, reverse engine, reverse thrusters, whatever we want to call it, and tow this thing out of the gravity well of the asteroid field. It will take several minutes. Valara, are you going to look for a way to get on, or are you riding this out?
Oh, riding, absolutely.
Cool. Cool.
And Maxon, did you say you were going to provide backup?
Yeah, she's got
Suit
backup
up.
if she needs it. Oh,
Suit up.
already. Yeah, there's,
Okay.
but my suiting up is not as extensive as hers. It's just like, boop, I'm out.
Awesome.
So does that? Do you also just want to hop on the tow cable and slide over?
Yeah, I could do that.
Cool. So during the pulling it out of the asteroid field, Max and you can join Valara. Dodd,
Yeah, probably when she like turns around, I'm like, I'm right here.
yeah, through the comms, you're overhearing Valara's whispering of a particular, a very important bit of words. Dodd, what are you doing as Maxon and Valara are dealing with the Nebula Scion?
I think I'm going to look to Rix to see if he has an indication there. Like my instinct is if there's some sort of giant serpent in there, maybe they need a third. But if Rix, the master planner, has a different role for me to play, I'm also okay with that. So kind of put a hand on Rix's shoulder and be like, me too.
Um, we're going to dock. I'm going to pull this up. I mean,
Okay.
sounds like we're all in. So I'm going to give it a good yank as soon as it's free of the gravity well. We'll connect up to it, and then you can head over. Suit up is probably good, at least a breather,
Yeah.
because we don't know what's over there. So I'll slap a breather on, just in case. Yeah.
Okay. So then just to be clear, you're pulling it free and then you want to like connect the airlocks? Is that the
Yeah,
plan?
yeah. So
Okay.
basically, as I pull it free, I think at the very end, I give it a little tug so it bounces towards us. And as I assume Maxon and Valera aren't going to wait any longer, they're going to pop in and we're going to hit the airlock behind them to connect up.
Awesome.
Mm.
So Max and Valara, you're the first two through the airlock. As you enter the ship itself, the corridors are dark and forbidding with minimal lighting. The atmosphere is eerie because you only have the sound of your breathing echoing in your, through comm links. As you wait for your ship, the night, uh, forgot the second half, insurgent, sorry, the night insurgent to belly up and the airlocks to connect. A figure suddenly drifts out of the twisted shadows into the lights from your suit, and you can see the vacuum dried face of death. A layer of parched flesh is stretched drum skin tight over a glaring skull. You can discern dozens of desiccated bodies floating about you in a ghastly Nulgy dance. What do you do?
These are the bones of our ancestors. We will give them an
I,
honorable death.
I'd like to seek. Do I want to seek insight? Yeah, I think I want to seek some insight here, and see if there's. Yeah, we'll seek insight, and then I'll ask
I
questions.
would like to aid Maxon in seeking insight. I
Ooh.
think, and
Mm,
I think canonically, I turn on the light foil as a light source, right?
mm-hmm.
And provide just that nice. What color is Valara's light
Ooh,
foil?
what
I
color is
haven't
it?
picked one yet. Hold
Oh
Very
on,
important.
no.
hold on. All right, we'll leave that detail out. Hold on, go ahead. So,
Cool.
and that, sorry, aiding. That just makes me uh
Yeah,
susceptible to
you're
any.
involved in it, and we'll
Okay,
say it's generally when you give aid with a person you have a bond with, they can roll with advantage.
Great,
perfect.
great,
Okay.
cool. Rolling with advantage. That is a 6 + 1, which is a 7.
Man, oh man, that would have been a two and a two. Would
That
have
would have
been a
been,
fail. Valaris
yeah.
saved. Yeah, awesome. You're seeking insight, which
Um,
means you get one question.
yeah. And I think the question is what is about to happen.
Ooh, excellent. What is about to happen? Um, in this main area, and if we're looking at that picture again, you've entered 14, 16 is well, yeah, you're basically in area 6, the elevator access tube near the med bay kind of area. What is about to happen? You hear noises coming from the aft of the ship, which would be main engineering. What is about to happen? Uh, if you remain here, nothing. You're fine. Is that a fair enough answer?
Um, is it an answer that I can act on?
Uh, whatever is in this ship is towards the aft
Hmm,
area. Whatever was that Rix saw, it is near the engines.
great. Um, we should check out the engines.
There's
I will lead the way.
PCs.
I
Cool.
Go
And
ahead. Yep.
Max and Villar, I imagine your suits have like mag boot actions, so you can actually
Yeah,
walk,
yeah.
even though
Ka-chunk, ka-chunk,
maybe like
ka-chunk.
we have the like camera
Whoosh.
twisting
Yep.
around as you guys are walking down the hallway deal. Yeah,
Hmm.
cool. We cut back to Rix and Dodd. You guys are suited up as well because there is no life support systems. Dodd, you'd have to get those up and running on the Nebula Scion before you guys would have breathable air. Make sense? Fair?
Yeah.
Cool.
I mean, I think we'll just go with the rebreathers then, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Not
Cool.
worth the time that it would take to do that, given what we may or may not know about that ship.
Okay. Excellent. So, as Valara and Maxon, as you move towards the engineering compartment, you find that it is strangely devoid of corpses. And as the the door to the engineering compartment does not open for you, you may need to slice your way into it, or you can pry it open if you'd like to use force. Valara, what would you like to do?
I would like to know things.
Excellent. A flickering light amber is the
A
color of
flickering
your.
light amber. Yeah,
Oh,
somewhere between white and yellow. A very pale yellow. Um,
interesting.
and so we haven't opened up the engineering, right? We haven't opened the
Correct.
door to the yeah. So this is Valar looking through and remembering back, like, what is the history? What was the mission
You're here.
of the ship? Um, I get to roll plus intelligence.
Oh, this is going to be interesting.
Yeah, I've got 0. So let's roll poorly, because then you get XP. Ah, dang it, I got a 10. Uh, on a know things, the GM will tell you something interesting and useful. What was the mission of the Nebula Scion back in the when it was lost in the Purge?
The mission of the Nebula Scion. The Nebula Scion was one of Theos Paddox's ships in his own personal fleet. Theos Paddox was is still the High Lord of Pelagia. The mission was to send off his prized possessions.
Okay,
Tasty.
it's a treasure ship.
I like the
Um,
sound of that.
I love it. Um, the door is completely sealed. It will not open.
It is sealed. Yes.
All right. I begin the slow and arduous plot-based timing of stabbing my light foil into into the door and begin cutting out a vaguely human-sized hole.
Excellent. Excellent. So we cut back to Rix and Dodd. You have your rebreathers on. How is it that you're navigating the ship where there's no gravity? I'm not saying you can't. I just am curious what the cool way that you do that. And where are you headed? Are you following after Valara and Maxon, or do you want to go towards the fore of the ship?
I mean, do we have a similar set of boots, are you thinking?
Totally open to it.
So for me, I think I'm wearing like a belt with a cable on it and some other tools and stuff like that. So I'm connecting to a cable and
Mhm.
sliding, up and down. And where I'd like to go is I'd like to basically I want to get power restored to this place. So that we can use the sensors to see what's here, maybe read the logs, that kind of thing. So I'm going to start repairing stuff. I think I'm going to head towards the bridge
Okay.
or
So I think
yeah, there's a computer room on 2. So I'm going to go up.
there's a moment where Dodd is like heading a different direction, uh, to get to where the other two are, like thinking, oh, just in case anything happens, like, and then realizing that Rix is going a different direction, like, okay, really, really dumb to let Rix go off on his own. So yeah, and if there's repairing to be done, I can help out with that. So
Why don't we try and do it from a console here?
Ooh,
okay.
interesting.
Yeah. I see that
Cool.
you're kind of a little bit hesitant, and I'm like, let's look at it here, see what we can do here in the elevator shaft, and then make our move from there.
Excellent. How do you want to try to see if you can make repairs or access systems, Dodd?
I mean, I can jury rig again if you want to do that.
Sure. It's I hear you. You want to try new and different moves. I'm not opposed to that, but that one it really is made
I
to
mean,
be this thing.
it's
So
for this, yeah.
yeah, it's for
It's
this.
And I'll
it's,
aid you.
it's kind of why I'm here. Um, so just to check with you on this, Rich, it's an int check. My droid is programmed to help me hack. So I think that means I get to add its knowledge to my roll,
That makes sense.
which then with advantage is just ridiculous. But
That is bananas. Um, we could easily say if you're getting the help from the droid, another PC can't help you.
okay, that might be the way to go with it then.
Okay,
Perfect.
But it's still a +3, so that's
that's still pretty good.
yeah.
Okay.
All right, TA, let's take care of this. Doop, 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 doop. Wow, I'm glad it was a +3 because that gets me into the middle. That's the 8.
Wow, you rolled poopy. That's great.
Not as
That's
bad as it could have been, thankfully, but not good.
okay. 7 to
So
9, choose one. It'll work, but not for long. You'll need to hurry to take advantage of it, or it works, but there's a weird quirk or
oh,
complication to it.
let's have a weird quirk or complication of getting the power restored on
Ooh,
this.
sweet. I love it. It's so you restore power, and
There's a brief spat of cursing in the middle of doing that Riggs can hear. Target! Ah!
nice. Yes, yes.
CA, what are you doing?
Ooh, I love that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Here's the brief quirk. This is mean, but I'm taking it because I want to see the system as well. Please take a D4 of damage as you get a little bit of
Okay.
feedback.
So I gotta get rid of these dice, get myself a D4. Oh, of course, that one I rolled the highest possible.
Ooh, 4. Oh, man.
That's fine. That's fine. Still so many hit points.
Okay. You that hurt. Uh, there's a med bay here, so I'm sure you'll be fine.
You said you were gonna ground that one. Ah!
Oh yeah, TA makes a pew. That's very sad and apologetic. Valara, you've you've begun cutting through. We see that like orange hot and the dripping of the metal as you get it so hot. You've cut a semicircle when your light foil, um, your light foil begins to dim slightly. What do you do?
Uh, it's never happened before. I turn off the light foil for a second and look at it.
Just give it a few minutes; it'll come back.
Maxim, this has never happened before.
It's all right. It happens to everybody.
I'm really tempted to like shake it. Like
Yes.
no, Valera lightly taps it against the bulkhead, like ting, ting, ting. I reignite it. What happens?
When you reignite it, it comes back in full force. You
Hmm.
hear something brush against the other side of the door.
Do I see anything with the light?
Yeah, you kind of peer through. Um, you see a red streak shape
Mm.
moving, and then darkness. Okay, it brushed past.
But I don't have time to, like stick the lightsaber in there to see what happens. Yeah, I will continue cutting. What's the
Halfway
worst that can
there.
happen?
All right. Max, and you're hanging back, I
Oh yeah.
assume, prepared. So this thing gets about 3/4, and then it starts moving in as something slams against it and starts to bend the metal, sending you back, Valara. Uh, you
Uh,
see a um a big, big, like big head of a serpent thing with like diamond hard teeth.
Mm-hmm.
That moves through that hole. It's basically trying to come through towards you, Valara, to bite you, rending both your suit and your flesh. What do you do?
I am pulling
oh,
out a weapon.
I assume you've got a weapon. Like
Oh,
I'm
no,
totally
I'm
cool with you.
yeah.
Oh,
pulling out a weapon, which is a move that I have.
oh, right, right, right. That's right. Pull out a weapon.
Pull
Sweet.
out a weapon.
You have a diverse arsenal of weapons at your
I
disposal.
do.
Am I taking damage?
You are. Please take a
Okay,
d6.
fantastic.
Don't forget you're armored.
4. Oh, I have no idea how the armor works. I'll look at that.
Oh, it just immediately takes off. So if you roll 4, you take
Okay.
2. I put your armor. By the way, I went through and looked at everyone's default armor,
Okay.
and I added that to the armor, which is right near your HP.
Oh, cool.
I realize I have armor, but I think that the electrical current probably would have bypassed that, so I'm not gonna
Oh,
reduce it
well,
for that.
up to
Mhm.
you. Fair. Cool. So Valar, you took a little bit of hammer. Maxon, do you? Am I saying it right, or am I supposed to say Max?
Yeah, max on. Yeah,
Okay,
max
cool.
on. Um, so does it look like hmm, does it look like it is squishy or perhaps armored? This thing.
Ooh, that is a great question. It appears very flexible but squishy.
Great. I'm pulling out a +1 damage weapon. Then this is like a repeating combat shotgun kind of thing. It's
Nice.
like a slug thrower. Yeah.
Sweet. You get a +1 if you make the chuck chuck noise, I think, is the
Yeah.
way that that works. Sweet. Yeah, so you have the thing, right?
Yeah.
Instantly.
Instantly. I think I need to roll to see um, something here. What is it? Roll plus stock, which I have 2 stock. I'm going to roll that, and then we'll see what happens there. A 9 plus 2 is 11. So on a 10 plus, describe it and choose an option from the list below. Great. Yeah, I just did that.
Sweet.
On a 7 to 9, I can't choose that option again until I
Right.
restock.
And what happens on a miss? Just
It's up to you.
okay, cool. Yeah, it isn't clear. It's
Prepare
just
for the worst.
yeah, prepare for the worst. Delightful. Sweet. You have that weapon. You
Yeah.
want to
I do want to use it.
yeah, why don't you enter firefight?
Yeah, firefight. Take aim and shoot at an enemy at range. Let's do that. That is plus dex, which I have +2 on. And that's a 6 plus 2, 7 to 9.
Very good.
Choose one. I have to move to get the shot, placing in danger. I'm gonna move to get the shot. I think Valar is in the way, so I have to like move forward and like push her
So
out
the
of the
thing
way.
that bit of Valara now can turn.
Oh, you're
Yeah.
moving me behind you?
Yeah, I'm like getting you out of the way,
Oh,
just like
okay.
shoving the shotgun into it and pop, 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 pop.
Oh, that's wicked, man. Yeah, yeah. I think its plan is to like eat you, but that
Hmm.
means you're
You
hurting
could eat
it
the shotgun.
a
Yeah.
lot. Yep. That's his plan. It's a great
Yeah.
plan. It will work just fine. Go ahead and do your damage and then roll a d6 for its damage returned to
Let's
you.
see. My damage is a D10. Nope, that's
Whew.
2d6. Let me roll a D10 instead. Is that a D10? That's a D12. Let's do a D10. Great. Damage is two.
Oh
Two
my
hit.
gosh, I'm so sorry. That really
Um, and what is its damage to me?
it's a d6. So go ahead and roll a
D6.
d6.
A five. Great.
Okay. Yeah, I
Minus my
think
armor.
you fire it and it blows out its side, right, from all the movement. So it hurts. There's
Mhm.
blood kind of floating in and you can't smell it. So I won't add that descriptive thing because you've got a deal. But
Yeah.
it took two.
Yeah. And I've
So
got chunky armor. So it's like got me. And I think it's more like less tearing and more kind of like wrenching my like this internal damage kind of is
yeah,
like
among
pulling
your
my
stuff,
arm.
you've got a personal shield, which adds.
Mm,
That's why you have three armor.
yeah.
Is that a physical ass shield, or do you have some kind of energy shield? What do you think?
Oh yeah. I like it being like a like Smee has the like a
Yeah,
pop
like an
up kind
energy
of.
buckler.
Well,
Yeah.
it's like it's metal that like pops out.
Oh,
Uh, yeah,
freaking awesome. Yeah. So you then only take two,
yeah,
right? Because you have three total armor in the five. So you are a tank.
yeah. But
Uh,
it's got my arm and got the shield in its mouth.
yes, exactly. It's got your shield and arm in its mouth right now.
Yeah,
And that is a thing you should probably deal with because you don't think your armor's going to withstand it for long.
yeah.
Sweet. Let's shift to the next round. Valara, you got shoved out of the way because Maxon had other things to deal with, like killing the thing that bit you. What do you wish to do about that, Valara?
Valara reignites the saber rake because, it's been bounced back. Um, and she is furiously slashing at the walls behind Maxon to create sparks and draw the snake's attention onto her.
Oh, that's so That's
It's
awesome. I love that move.
defend.
Sweet. That is fantastic.
That's what
Please
I'm
roll
going
to
for.
defend.
All right, and that's plus con. Should expect more into con. Here we go.
Hmm.
Plus 0.
A night with
8.
Khan at the dump stat.
Good enough.
Not the best. Sweet. On a 7 to 9, hold one readiness. Spend your readiness 1 for 1 to suffer an attack's damage or effects instead of your ward. Have an attack's effect or damage.
Yeah.
Draw all
Draw
attention.
all attention from your ward to myself.
Yeah, that's awesome. Sweet. You successfully do that. This thing, imagine so you have a picture. Um, the X, oh crap, I can't remember what they call it on Wikipedia. Imagine the giant thing that the Millennium Falcon was inside in the
The
Empire Strikes
Exogorth.
Back. Exogorth. I knew it was an exo something. Thank you. So imagine a miniature version of an Exogorth that happens to be about 8 feet long and very, very wide. So its head turns and you can see its little beady eyes as it's excited by the sparks and your light foil dims just slightly as it moves towards that thing and it seems to be drawing in that energy. Um, hey, Maxon, you're no longer under direct threat of getting your arm chomped off. What would you like to
Yeah.
do in response?
I would like to press my shotgun up against it and fire some more rounds into it.
Okay, that is another firefight.
Yeah. Roll it. That is a 12.
Ooh,
There we
that
go.
is awesome. There we go. On a 10 plus, you have a clear shot to your damage. Oh, I
Deal
wish
my
it was
damage.
sexier.
Let's get that D10. 10. Boom.
Boom. Yeah. What does it look like when you kill this thing?
Um, I think like since Fleer's drawn it off, I think it's like reached out and I like shotgun it in the neck, and just like the head is severed,
Wicked.
floating off gobs of stuff.
Uh, awesome. You guys have a moment of savoring that victory before you see that there are more.
Mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm.
then another one is trying to come through the door that you've helpfully worked with it, the baby exegol, to open up. Rix, I know the dog stepped away for a moment. Um, maybe should we just call this our mid-game bio break? That might be smart. Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
Cool. Okay, so we have jumped focus back to Rix and Dodd Badu as you guys are currently in the hyper transceiver and computer room, bringing systems back online. Power comes on, lots of things fall to the decks as the artificial gravity is reinstituted, and that will give you guys a brief moment, Maxon and Valara, as the things that were slithering around in space now slop to the floor and have to reorient themselves. Um, as the lights come on for you, Rix and Dodd, um, you see that the ship's systems start to come up, and things start coming on. However, you immediately see that the um, power has been significantly depleted. Like this thing, um, the batteries have been drained. Not to like it's the thing where it's got, if you remember the battery is like down here in the red blinking indicator kind of deal. What would you like to do?
So I think what happens is we're sitting there working on stuff, and as soon as we hear that shotgun go off, um, I, we still have zero G at this point. I turn around and launch off in the direction where I heard it. And
Okay.
about that time, I think, is when the power comes on, and I do a little tumbling roll through the hallway, and get my bearings and run in that direction. And I come up across, upon them cutting into a door and blasting through it and stuff like that. And I kind of shake my head a little bit. Um, and what can I do to help? Is there? Yeah, I'm going to do seek insight to just get an idea about what's going on in this area. Um, to see if I assume that on my way down here I saw the same bodies that Maxon and Valera did, right?
Hmm. Yes.
So how did these things stay alive? And did they get out? And are they going to flank us or something like that? So I'm going to do an insight. Seek
Sorry.
insight.
Can you define these things just so I make sure I'm on the same page?
Yeah. At this point, all I know is the
Okay.
stuff that
The
Maxon is
serpent.
shooting at. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Cool. Cool.
Yeah. And that is, let's see, I'm going to roll first. So that is a total of 4, and my wisdom is a 1, so that would give me a 5, but I'm lucky, so I'm going to re-roll that. I'm going to roll that again. I got exactly the same thing. Okay. So I got a 5. I'm sorry. I got a 5 total, which lets you do whatever you want.
I know. It's so cool. Okay. Yeah. So you get a 5, um, and you were seeking insight on the things. Yeah, I think what happens is that the last of the battery is one of those where it had a trickle charge, and the last of the batteries, boom, the systems go back out again, and so does zero G. That is my reaction to your particular seeking of insight is that you start floating back up again, and you're going to have to switch back to navigating the hallway as you had before.
And just let me add on to that, which is before I'd use the cable and a little clip and all that kind of stuff. Whenever the gravity came back on, I unclipped and I was running. So I'm a little unstable now that we're in zero G again.
Nice, nice. I like it. Let's swap back to Maxon and Valara. And yes, you saw that there were more worms. One was coming through. It kind of slammed in and kind of slumped over the hole that you had created.
Hmm.
And then the zero G, as you what you guys reacted to it, it now uh, is back into zero G.
Did
So
we get a sense
Valara.
of how many there were in there?
Oh yes, there are two more inside.
Oh.
It's fine.
Valara, do you want to take the next one?
We're gonna
I don't want
tag out. Yeah.
to. I don't want to hog the spotlight, but I got
No, no.
more.
So
I got more
they're
weapons to pull out.
they're starting to slither their way into the doorway, right?
Yes, one of them has slithered its way. It came halfway through, then the gravity went off and it slopped to the ground.
Mhm.
Then, as you guys reoriented yourselves and thought, "Oh yeah, easy pickings," then the gravity went off again. Fair?
Yeah. So yeah, Valara positions herself very close to I position myself very close to the door, and as it starts to come back through, I'm gonna throw that light foil down on it as hard as I can. I believe this would be clash.
Yeah, you should definitely clash. I definitely want to see clash in action.
Roll plus strength. There we go. That's a 6, 7, 8.
Ooh, on a 7 to 9, your maneuver works mostly. Deal your damage, but you suffer your enemy's attack.
All right. I do D10 damage. Dope.
Mm-hmm.
D10, not D100. Oh, this is a. We're getting really good damage rolls here.
Oh, that's
Uh,
awesome.
that's D10, and it's also it's +1. It's precise and messy.
Oh, sweet. So, I will describe what it does to you, and then you tell me how you dispatch it.
I take D6. Yeah.
You do not.
Oh,
Uh, it does another thing that
another thing. I love it.
it does another thing. So what it does is it bites onto, let's say, like your leg, and twists its head, and it breaches your suit.
Ooh, ooh.
Yes. So a suit breach means that you will take D6 damage with no armor applicable.
AP,
Mm.
AP. That's a 2. Okay.
Just a
Still
two.
not great. Not great.
Not great.
I'm
And
I'm not
also
as
going into
spongy.
zero G will be a big problem.
Uh-huh.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um. So yeah. So gravity was off. Gravity came back on. Gravity's back off. So is it bites me is when the gravity. Well, I guess it's still back off, right?
Let's
Because
say it's
as it
going
came
off. You
through.
can move
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
into your narration if you'd like.
Okay. As it goes off, it bites. That was during the gravity was on, and it's starting to fight me, and it twists my leg out. I scream out. The lights go back off. Gravity comes back on. It panics and starts to float up, and I just drive the light foil right through its head.
There is one of the serpents in the section 17, the main engineering
Hmm.
I,
left.
and Valara like kicks into the engineering, right? Like kills this thing and then pushes and going in there.
Yep. Cool. Good. So Dodd, Rick's left you behind. Um, after you got things back up and running, that jerry rig, the power needs to be like you got the systems patched together, but something had drained enough of the power to where the batteries are dead.
So is there anything that I can do here, or is it just a case of I should go run and try to shoot some worms?
Ooh, that's a great question. I feel like there is something you could do. You could try to reroute to some tertiary systems. You could do a little bit of research to figure out what the hell happened. So you got some
Okay.
options.
Let's do a little research then and figure out why this battery is so darn low.
Awesome.
We got
Cool.
3 folks with guns. They're fine.
Yeah, they're fine. There's just one.
Well, two in a saber rake. Yeah, light foil. I don't mean to minimize
Exactly.
it. So is that seeking insight?
Yeah.
All right. And I think, let's see, for TA, would this be scouting or searching?
Sounds like searching for sure because you're looking through,
Okay.
try to understand a thing.
So I can add its knowledge to that then, which gives me something to add because otherwise my wisdom is flat. Oh, and that's very nice. It ends up being a 13. So I
Wow.
don't mind that.
Sweet. Um, you boom. You're able to basically search through. Maybe you use TA to provide a little bit of system to or power to this
Mhm.
particular system. Search through the logs. Um, First thing that you find is the logs from system malfunctions. The hyperdrive suffered a malfunction. The failsafes dropped them out into this particular area. The air supply was contaminated, resulting in multiple fatalities. As you search through, you find logs that a crewman was the saboteur, who he confessed to being of House Massetti, but the contamination was greater than anticipated, and the entire crew was ultimately infected and killed. You got a 13, right?
Mhm.
You check the manifest, and you recognize the surnames of paddocks on an 8-year-old and a 10-year-old. Paddocks being the surname of the High Lord of House Pelagia.
All right. Well, maybe they're fine and just 20 years older. No. Does that give me anything about why the battery is absolutely shot? Is that just part of the malfunction, the saboteur?
Oh, 13. Yeah, that's a great question. So, no, you don't think the saboteur had anything to do with it. It is these weird serpent things. They have been
Uh,
eating the power.
ooh, I'm very curious how they're interacting with the light foil and being stabbed by it.
Hmm. Um, as you make those observations, uh, I see here that in our NPCs that there's a co-pilot of the Night Insurgent named. How do you say, Stephen? I think you dropped that NPC in possibly.
I did.
So do you want to tell me how you say her first name?
Jace,
Jace.
Jace Gatilla.
Cool. Jace, who stayed back on the Night Insurgent, comes over comms. I'm not sure what you're doing over there, but I just saw some things come across the tow cable. Did you send them?
No, no. Lock down the airlock. Make sure they can't get through.
Okay, on it. Cool. Back to Maxon and Valara as the two of you have moved into engineering. Main
Did
engineering.
everyone get that comms, or was that straight to
Yeah,
Rick's?
yeah. No, wasn't specific.
Um, yeah, Max would just be like, Valara, you got this last one?
I'll take it.
Great. I'm gonna head out to the tow cables then.
Amazing. Sweet. So you're gonna go out or you're gonna head
Mhm.
back?
I'm gonna head wherever the tow cables are, back out, and then
Okay,
on
cool.
the way back.
Sorry. The tow cables, if I remember correctly, I think they were near the airlock, which means
Yeah.
you've run across Rick's. That's why I just wanted
Right.
to see are you
Oh yeah.
sweet. So Rick's through the dark, you see Max on suit lights, and he's making his way towards you, basically.
Yeah, so I think whenever I see the lights coming, I draw a bead on it, and then where I see it's Max, and I'm like, oh, um, do y'all need help down there? I heard fire.
That was me. Valeria is taking care of some worms. I'm afraid we've got some more on the way to our ship. Uh, you want to help her or me?
Um, I'll head back. I'll head back with you. The ship's my responsibility.
All right, come on then. No time to waste.
Do the little flip around. Oh crap! I think I just grab on. Are you literally wearing a cape?
Yeah.
I think I just grab onto your cape so that because I have no traction here.
Right, and I got the
That's amazing.
boots. Yep.
Sweet. So let's flip to Valara, who by yourself bravely facing off the last of the serpents.
The last we
Uh,
can see.
oh, yeah, it's the last of the serpents. What? What you see is true. Uh, it is slithering back and forth, and of course, because it's the last one, it's slightly larger than the other two. And yeah, you see it moving through, coming towards you. This thing seems to navigate zero G space very well. What do you do?
Um, so I'm going to let's see. I really only have the light foil, don't I?
You're gonna have another weapon,
Okay.
like a little blaster pistol or something if you want, but it's up to you.
Well, I I do have ammo that's part of my like loadout. So I'm gonna grab, I'm catching on here. There's something with my light foil. I grab one of my like energy things for a blaster, and I hit it really hard against my armor so that it starts to like overheat, and I'm throwing that out up into the air as sort of a like distracting energy source for it to track.
Hmm, neat. Are you hitting a playbook move or are you
I'm
just
no, I'm just I don't know.
neat?
This might be define danger.
I like it. Device danger.
Okay. Um expertise or a clever plan, I guess. So int
Yeah, seems like a clever plan. You're using information at hand to try to come up with a clever distraction. I like it.
roll plus 0. That's a 4.
Hmm, a four. Yeah, you think you have the right plan. You toss the power, but you're holding the light foil, and that's more important to it. So it just comes directly towards you. Please roll a d6 as
Heck
it bites
yeah.
into you.
That's a 5. Does my armor apply here?
Your armor does apply.
Okay. So I take 3. Uh oh no, I don't. Ooh, oh no. I've gone 2-3. That's not I had 15. I'm going to 12. Okay. Um
The other way that math works.
the yeah. I'm gonna reach out and I guess it has its arm like I'm turning on that light foil inside its mouth if I have to. We're clashing.
Yeah, clash away. Sounds good.
All right, that's 2d plus strength. Probably punching it on the side of the head with my other hand.
With your mailed fist.
That's a 3 plus 1 is a 4. Hey, don't worry. I got this, Maxon. Everything's fine.
Awesome.
Um,
You drop your light foil
yeah, I figured I did. Okay.
in its mouth, I think.
Oh,
Yeah, I think that's it, and then it just sails away from you.
do I have time for one more move?
Sure, you could try one more move.
I'm gonna go back on comms and talk to uh Jace. So we landed on Jace, right? Uh,
Yeah, Jace.
and what are Jace's pronouns? I'm gonna tell her to bank. Right, we're toe cabled together. I'm gonna tell her to bank hard in whatever direction would bring that thing back to me. Right? So
Are you giving her an order?
I am giving her an order. I'm barking orders at the NPC, like Jice, hard to starboard, to spin us. So to spin the two ships together, so that that thing comes back at me.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Um,
That seems very wise and not at all deleterious to anyone else's actions. I love this.
rolling plus charisma is +2.
Ooh.
That's an 8.
The dice do not like you. I'm double checking. Those
No.
are D6s you're rolling. Okay.
They are, and I do get XP on that fail.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
You made
XP
the
on the
first
fail
two.
system.
Okay, on a 7 plus, they choose one. Do what you say. Back away cautiously, then flee. Attack you. Um, yeah, I think they do what you say. Seems like a logical thing. Well, okay. Wow, we're having some weird power fluctuations. I'm doing it. And yeah, the you kind of bump in, she bumps the knight insurgent into the ship, which sends this thing hurtling back towards you. Please roll a d6. Is this now just like, oh, well, then I'm gonna bite you?
That's a 5.
Nice. You
Another
do have
3.
armor. But it is now biting on your face. Like you can see it's
Oh
diamond
yeah,
hard things, and it is trying to crack your helmet to eat your actual
but I can see the
face.
light foiled in there somewhere.
You can see it. Like, just, I
Love to
imagine
see
it's
them set that shot up.
extinguished, right?
Yeah.
But you can still see its metal in there inside the mouth from your power. Your suit's lights are flickering a little bit. And let's cut away to Maxon, as that seems like in a moment to leave Valara in a tense situation. Maxon, you were moving across on the tow cable when the entire ship comes at you. Please tell me what you'd like to do.
This sounds like we're defying danger to keep
It does
hold right
seem
now,
like
right?
danger
Yeah,
needs to be defied.
yeah. What is that with? That's probably with. Hmm. I mean, either strength or dex. I'm not
I can
sure.
see either of those. Do you want to be agile or do you want to power through?
I mean, I want to be agile.
I think you should be agile because powering
Yeah,
through to me means you're strong enough to hold back a whole ship slamming into
yeah.
you.
Which
Dex
it's
seems
possible. It's
smarter.
possible. It's possible. That is a 13.
Wow.
Yeah.
Tell me the awesomeness that looks like. You pull it off
Um,
as well as one could hope.
are there so before I describe it, do I see are there things coming across the cable there? The
Oh, yeah. When you go across towards the cable, you see they've already like they're
Yeah.
slithering down the outside of the ship
Mhm.
towards the engines.
Yeah. I think like the ship banks and there's a moment where like I get like tossed off a little bit, do like a tuck and then grab and pull like get the cable at the last second and yank myself forward and just sort of like propel myself across. So we're not pulling across anymore. We're jumping from the cable to where they are on the ship.
That sounds. We'll let that be part
And
of your
and
dexterous.
Rick's is still holding on, I'm assuming.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's right,
Hey,
Rix.
hey, hey! And you're letting go and headed,
Yeah.
and I'm like,
Hang on.
So how much science do we want in here? Because you be going out into the vacuum of space. Is that a thing, Rix? You can let go if you want and still be in the ship, or do we want to say that people can, with a rebreather, could just go out into
Oh, I
zero
thought
G?
Rick's had the breather on. Yeah.
so I had rebreather on. And we had actually docked the ship.
Just so I have the same picture
Mm-hmm.
you do. The rebreather to me is the thing from the
Yeah.
prequels that they just stuck in their mouths.
I was actually imagining a thing from The Empire Strikes Back it's the same thing. It's just like a gas mask looking thing.
Okay, cool.
Right?
That's why I wanted to make sure
Um,
we were on the same page.
And the
That's all.
vacuum of space, I think whenever you head out into the vacuum of space, I have to let go.
Okay, cool. So we're
So you're cycling through the airlock.
yeah,
I'm going through the connection tube
right.
to our ship. And
And
I can take an
I'm
action
just
after you get done.
jetting over to where they are on the outside of the ship.
Cool. Sounds awesome.
And I can see what's going on. I have a good
Yeah.
Yeah,
clarity.
absolutely.
Maxon's filled me in. Okay.
Yeah, I don't like fog of war terribly a lot. Dodd, you've gathered a good bit of information about what's happened. It looks like these guys were trying to escape back during the Jedi, the Purge, House Pelagia. The High Lord sent off his most prized possessions, and then there were House Massetti's spy aboard who sabotaged and tried to kill everyone on board. Then they ended up in this asteroid field where these crimson worms or whatever, crimson baby exegals, crimson slugs, were attracted to the power and have drained it mostly. Um, so yeah, that's the
I
information you've
mean,
gathered.
it's all terribly interesting, but at this point, it is the slugs that are the pressing issue. I was hoping maybe that would just be taken care of at this point, but it doesn't seem like it. So I'm hearing quite a lot of commotion from Valara's area of the ship. So I think it's time to just hoof it down there and hope my little blaster can make some sort of difference in this one-sided the wrong way fight.
Yeah. Cool. So, Dodd, you manage, and we're not going to worry about the unities of time. You just get to be there when Valara is facing off with the largest of the Crimson Slugs. You see that it's bit into Valara's face. What would
Oh
you
my
like to do,
goodness.
Dodd?
Well, fortunately, this is a surprised enemy and I'm at range. So I'm going to name my target and roll dex to call my shot.
Oh, sweet.
So we're going to shoot at the head, which is also at your head. So, hopefully this is a good shot.
Which is
Uh,
also where my light foil is. So
there's nothing bad could happen. Uh, so if I do well on this, they do nothing but stand and drool for a few moments. So that would give you the opportunity to take care of business with the light foil and all that. And this is Dex, which is
I'll
+1.
say on a 10 plus, you can retrieve the light foil from its gullet, Valara, for a d4 of damage with no armor.
Let's see. You know what? I'm actually going to use my house move and use wealth to solve a problem because
Ooh.
same fictionally, but I have the best uh tri-compound telescoping sight that you can get on a blaster rifle that we have bought for this particular model that I have. So I'm able to aim so well that just happens.
Sweet. Okay. Then you use that hold and you pull off that perfect shot. Blaster hits it and it releases from your face, Valara. If you want to reach, all you have to do is roll that d4 of damage.
oh, absolutely. Like in one, like as if Valara had expected it the entire time, right? It goes, it let go, and she goes, shoves her hand in there. That's a 4. Of course it is.
Of course it
Nice.
is. Amazing.
You and rolling a 4, more classic combination.
Sweet.
I
Awesome.
think like
So,
her armor gets left in there a little bit, but she
oh
has the light
yeah, I love
foil.
that. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome. But you've retrieved it.
Yep.
Oh, the light amber and
Is it
white light
dead
foil.
or is
Yeah,
it
I think it's
stuck?
dead. I think that
It's
makes
dead.
that makes
Okay.
a. I was going for the dramatic, but I think logically and also the idea that this thing drains batteries. Yeah, it just seems like you pull it, you click the button to ignite it, and nothing happens. Um, let's
Valara looks over. Oh, do we want to cut from that? Okay,
yeah, I was going to cut to Rix. Rix,
let's
you've
do it.
seen Maxon head off to try to deal with these Crimson Slugs that have tried to deal with your ship. What do you want to do, Rix?
I run through the umbilical to get to our ship, and as soon as I get inside, I do everything I can to shut down power.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's fine. You're doing that. That is not a die roll thing. That's a okay. Maxon, you're moving along. Do you have jetpacks on this bad baby?
Oh
I'd
no, I
imagine.
just like launched myself over, so I grabbed onto the tow cable and pulled, and then I'm
Right.
just gliding over without
That was part of our
unpowered,
defy danger. Yeah, you're
unpowered.
coming near
Yeah.
the engines, um, and yeah, you see a couple of these slugs are like hoovering up as much of the power from the
Mm.
engines as they can. You can see them starting to like there are these weird like neon bluish veins on it that start to
Hmm.
glow, and these things seem to be start to pulse a little bit with the energy that they're drawing. What do you wish to do?
Yeah. I need to pull out another weapon. So I'm going to roll for that. That is an 11. This is the wrist flamethrower, and as I'm jetting towards them and just like not less trying to damage them and more just trying to like disperse them, like trying to get them not like it's like shooting hot plasma at them.
White hot plasma.
Yeah,
Cool.
white hot plasma.
Sweet.
I'm not sure what kind of roll that is. What kind of that
I
is.
think it's firefight,
Hmm. Okay.
and you're taking aim and shooting at an enemy at range.
Yeah, but it's less to like damage them and more to like shoo them away, I guess. But
Yeah,
I'll roll a firefight
absolutely.
and see what happens there. So that's another two. That's a 9.
Hmm.
And
Sorry,
this oh, and I've added
I'm
the
thinking back over what you just said you wanted to happen.
yeah, and this has the environmental tag fire on it.
Mhm, 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 mhm. Cool. I
Elemental
think
tag.
if you want to obviate damage and instead put them where you want them,
Hmm.
I'm
Yeah,
okay with that.
yeah.
Uh,
I went them off the ship.
awesome. That sounds amazing. So you do need to choose because it looks like you got a mix. Is that right?
I
So
did, yeah.
you have a choice.
Um, I think I'll reduce the ammo, and that'll expend all the ammo that comes with it.
Sounds awesome. Sweet, sweet. Uh, yeah. So you light up flame, which is some kind of special Star Warsy flame that we see
Yeah.
in space. We're not worried about that at all. It is enough to these things detach
Mhm.
and much more slowly start heading back towards the asteroid field. And you're not tethered to anything,
Yeah.
so that's
Yeah. My aim is to land feet first with the magnetics on there, but we'll see how that works.
yeah. I want you to defy some damager to see
Yeah.
if you can reconnect with the Knight Insurgent.
Yeah. And that sounds like a dex for sure. That's an 11. Yeah. So land clunk in the flames,
Nice. Yeah, yeah,
cloak
reconnected.
billowing in the vacuum.
And yeah, you start to land, and I think the engines go off. They turn off because Rix was turning off all systems, trying to shut this thing off, and that's why these things, after getting flamed on, they're like, oh,
Mhm.
well, this isn't easy pickings anymore, and they go back to the asteroid field. Um, I'm looking at time, and I'm just going to hard frame. Uh, a couple of things. Valara and Dodd, how is it that you guys dispatch the last of these crimson slugs?
Good question. Um, so it had come through the door that was lightsabered open, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we can't lock it back in that
Hold
door.
on. Yeah, yeah, that door was lightsabered opened. You're in the actual engineering area where it
Yeah.
Oh,
originally
we went.
was.
Okay.
Do we like jettison whatever is left that they might still be attracted to?
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
that
Yeah, I
makes
like
sense.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Basically,
Dodd, did,
Dodd
yeah.
figures out how to detach the last of the engine that had the last trickle of power, or and it will disable the ship somewhat, but you guys can always tow it, and then boom, it follows it out. Baby going after food,
Dodd, did you find anyone alive?
No.
and then again as hard frame, we see the two of you moving through the ship. Um, you're unable to restore power, so magnetic boots and Dodd also mag boots.
Yeah.
Cool. Two of you, mag boots, lights, and you see there are two. You're in the hold. There are two long crates that were attached to the ship's power grid. Dodd, that's how you found them. The crates have active life support systems
Oh,
that were slave to the ship's power plant. Inside are two forms in jury-rigged carbon freezing. whoever's in there, they're still alive.
I wish to change my previous answer.
There's no harm done. These were obviously hidden. Um, so yeah, Valara starts moving these towards that tunnel. Right, we gotta
Hmm.
save these people, not
I,
investigate who they are whatsoever.
I mean, not at
Okay.
this point. We need to get them
No.
attached to the power, right? And then we'll figure out what's what.
Okay. And we will bring this session to a close with you guys moving those two. I'm imagining, you got some kind of hover sled thing and you're moving the two carbon slabs onto the Night Insurgent. Um, there we go. Some interesting things at the end of our session. I'm very happy with where we ended. Good stuff. Cool. So let's go through the mechanics part at the end of the session. You each of you need to think about how you demonstrated or struggled with your drive. Oh yeah, that's a thing I should have reminded you about at the beginning of the game. Don't forget your drives. We'll do better next time. So let's go around the horn. We're going to start from the left hand side. Maxon, did you struggle with or demonstrate your drive?
Um, I don't think my drive was justice, bring guilty to justice or justice to the guilty. I don't think so. No, I don't think worms can be guilty.
Fair enough.
They're
They
they're
were
just doing their thing.
they sent him
Did
to
you
worm
bring
jail.
justice to the betrayer?
Mm, I don't think I did.
Okay,
Yeah, not yet.
okay.
Okay, Dodd, you have money and fortune.
Yep. I was trying to frame it as that's why I wanted to get on this ship.
That
Get
sounds great.
myself some riches.
Mark and XP. And then Rick's money and fortune as well.
No, Rix's defiance
Oh,
break the law.
sorry.
No, it's
I
fine.
just saw another money and fortune. I'm like, oh crap, we have two money and fortune. Yay, defiance, break the law.
Nope, didn't break the law.
Okay. And then Knight Valaranova.
Endanger yourself by coming to the aid of someone in desperate need, which I did with the defend for Maxon.
For sure.
I
Mark and
wouldn't say
XP.
desperate, but
Okay, and then this is for the group. For each yes, everyone gets to mark XP. Did you have a thrilling adventure?
yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yay! Did you discover something about the galaxy or its history?
Mhm.
Yes.
Yes. Well,
Did you
mostly
defeat?
Dodd, but yes.
Yeah,
Did you defeat a threat to the region or the people?
Yes.
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know.
We're
What
people. It was a threat to us.
the people?
Yeah, I know.
I've got to say no.
Okay.
Okay.
Did you recover, redeem someone once thought lost?
It seems
Yeah.
like it.
Did you restore hope?
Not,
That's going a little far.
Not
Okay.
yet. No.
not at this
All right.
juncture.
So we have 1, 2, 3,
3 is what I got.
Mhm.
3 XP for everybody. Good stuff. Let us now do that's all the mechanical stuff. Let's quickly go through a round of stars and wishes. We start with wishes so we can end with stars. Uh, who would like to be our secretary? I like to write down in the safety and roller area
Ooh.
our wishes.
I will be the secretary.
Okay. And I'm gonna
Keith, you
grab
have
the
to go soon,
names.
right?
Oh, yeah. Keith, go
Um,
first.
oh, okay. So we're doing wishes?
Yes,
Yes.
we are.
I would love to get more scenes with everybody in them, so we can have more character
More
interaction.
group scenes, 100%.
That's always my favorite stuff. Um, and combat's not the most interesting to me in the dungeon worldy type systems. So I would say more problem solving, less head smashing if possible. But you need some head smashing.
Okay. That's fair. Absolutely. Absolutely. Did you have any stars you wanted to throw out in case you needed to drop?
Yeah, I really like the characters that we have together, and I think the universe building was really cool. And I'm excited to see where what machinations you have behind the scenes and how that's going to affect all the houses in play.
Yeah, if I can keep the houses straight, that would be great.
There's a lot of houses.
Yeah, it's not that many, but old me would have been fine with it. Or like previous me, old me now. It's like I just messed up two C names. Awesome, thank you so much, Keith. Then let's go to start from the right. So, Greg, what wishes do you have?
Uh, K to not be stuck in traffic.
For sure.
Yeah. But I think it'll be very interesting. We had a nice little like pocket adventure there, so I'm not too worried about it. Um, yes, I would like more all group scenes. I'll put that down in my little thing. Um, and I'm always a sucker for spaceship combat. So I'll throw that out there. And I'm looking forward to interacting with the greater houses, right? Like actually, having to come to terms like bringing this to House Pelagia. What are the repercussions of that? So,
Yay! I'm excited for it. Oh, the rap text stuff is making this thing kind of wonky. I
oh,
love it.
I'm just writing stuff down, and we'll make it pretty later.
Sounds good. Thank you very much. Steven, did you have any wishes?
I did. I struggled with things to do. Um, the smuggler or the scoundrel is a little bit interesting. It's like, selling things and stealing things. Um, so it seemed like I was always falling back to, hey, let's figure out what's going on. Hey, let's do what was it? Seek insight and that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
hopefully, I'll be able to figure out the character a little bit better about dealing with the interactions with other players and NPCs and stuff like that. So that would be my wish. Yeah.
Yeah,
I looked through to see if there were other moves that would help with that, but I didn't see any.
okay.
Mhm. I'm
Yeah,
sorry, you
well,
were going to say.
no, I think that's real good. It's real good. I real good observation, and I want to make sure I make space for you to do cool stuff. So thank you for pointing that out.
Oh, it's no problem. I don't think it's on your side. It's just I kept being like, what am I going to do now? Yeah.
Cool. Thank you. And then Mark.
Yeah, that was fun. I the the character of Maxon, I think we've established that he's very good at shooting things. I think wish would be to do more not shooting things. That is super fun doing the um, the Mandalorian, like pull out whatever we need. Yeah, see how interact more with house stuff. I'm kind of alongside with what Steven was saying. The the drives are interesting because yeah, like we did like I didn't have a chance to. There's no opportunity to do the justice thing or the breaking the law thing. I'm curious, like yeah, I'm curious how to kind of massage that. So I don't know if it's like a wish list thing or a like we have to. Yeah, I'm just thinking how that works. Yeah.
Just so I'm clear, you're worried about will that drive be applicable in enough situations to be interesting and fun?
Yeah. Yeah. I think like on a per session basis, like, does it make sense to be like, oh, like since people have it checked, is that all on you to put that out there, or or should we like maybe check it afterwards? Like, is that a thing that we did, or is it on us to drive ourselves towards that thing? It's kind of,
May I
yeah.
make a suggestion? Can we try and reword that a little bit? Like yours is bring the guilty to justice or justice to the guilty.
Mhm.
Could it be instead like uphold your moral ground? That
Mm.
widens it so it might be easier to hit with different circumstances.
Yeah, but I feel like the character, like that's the bounty hunter's job is to like
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
bring justice there. So I feel like that
Okay,
specific thing is
okay.
part like same as like yours, like break the law, not just like do something kind of shady. Like it feels like that's a thing the character hit, and it's unclear like where that the sort of like narrative responsibility for making that happen is.
So I have a couple things to say about that because I also share your concern, but um, you can demonstrate or struggle with your drive. So as long
True,
as I make
true.
it present,
Right.
then as long as you feel a certain kind of way about it and express that, cool. The other thing is,
Hmm.
I specifically dropped this thing into y'all's lap and tried to set it up so that there is breaking the
Hmm.
law, justice, like all of it should kind of pinpoint on what happens next with these
Nice.
folks you've just saved and what you've done. So
Cool,
I
cool.
did try to use that as my guide to um, hack the shit out of a Tapani adventure to
Yep.
be applicable here. So I think for at least the next little bit, we're good enough to feel if it's a thing that you want to, and you can also change drives.
Yeah.
We can also like write a new one. You can pick one of the others. We can pick one from an unused. So let's just keep an eye towards that because I think that's important.
Yeah.
If that motivation isn't fun or actionable to you, that's sucky. So that's it. Did you have any other wishes, Mark?
No, it's just super fun all around. Really enjoyed it.
Cool. Then that's your stars as well.
Yeah.
Awesome. Steven, did you have any stars you wanted to throw out?
Yeah, stars to both Maxon and Valara in that Valara in general rolled very poorly, and that was exciting to see, and Maxon rolled very well, and that was exciting to see. So basically, seeing that difference between the two of them, it was like whenever Mark rolled, it was like, oh, I got a 12, and Greg would roll and be like, I got a 4. I'm like, what? Are those the same dice?
It was hilarious to watch the extreme outcomes. That was
Yeah,
very
I
fun.
think I marked one failed roll. I might have actually had more than one. It certainly
Uh,
felt like it, but
you can go back and look, right?
Yeah.
kind of. It's not always clear exactly because there's no bonus on roll
Mm.
with your party.
I think you got
Oh,
at
My
least
only mark
two.
against it, like,
Yeah.
yeah, um, an eternal wish for a better dice roller. Again, reach into a portal and roll dice in a pocket realm. Um, sorry, is it my turn for wishes? Were you done?
yeah.
Okay.
Stars, right?
Stars.
Wishes, stars, whatever. I had a really good time with the session. I do love a good action scene. I think we had a great one. Um, and I did love I know you said you were struggling for finding something to do, Stephen. I
Right.
never felt it that way. It always felt like you were a highly capable captain who was sort of leaving us to our own devices as needed. Um, so that was fun. I really enjoyed that Maxon followed through on being outside the ship as I spun the ship. I honestly had kind of forgotten about that part. And then I was like, no, Maxon's got it. Don't worry about it. And you rolled a freaking 13 or whatever. So I was like, yeah, see, Villara wasn't worried at all. Um, that was fun. And it was I'm looking forward to where this all goes. So
Good. Cool. Then I'll say appreciate you guys play characters with gusto that go out and do things rather than being like 10-foot pole and super nervous and stuff. I've really appreciated that. I threw it out as just, well, let's see where it goes. And if they want to, go room by room, we'll do that thing. But luckily we were just like, yeah, let's obviate that and do all the cool
Yeah.
scenes.
uh
Yeah.
real quick question on a system level,
Yes.
if we have a moment.
We have a moment.
So Dungeon World, you hit 0 HP, you roll Death's Door or
Hmm.
Yes.
Blackgate, whatever that one was called.
Yeah.
Um, I don't see, just because I was getting low in health and I wasn't like, I was pretty sure that I wasn't going to necessarily die in the first one. Is there a special moves or something for,
Um,
is there a Death's
Mm.
Door
that is a
roll?
great question. I don't know. Let me.
I know it's a hack of a hack and
Yeah, I know. There's a lot of the hacks go all the way down. There is a last breath originally in this, so
okay, last
I
breath.
will
That's it.
put that in
Okay.
because I
I
think it's neat.
If there's an interesting one from Stone Top, I'm
Yeah.
a-okay with playing with that too.
Is there one
Yeah,
from
there's a
Stovetop?
death's door. When you're dying, you
So
glimpse the
I
last door and the Lady of Crows.
I've rolled that actually. That one's
Ooh,
really cool. But it leans heavily into some of the
Yeah.
Stone
yeah,
Top
that
systems.
mythos. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. It's fun though. You could take I took, gosh, what was it? The marked or something. Basically, you become part of the evil part of the forest in Stone Top, which was
Ooh,
so cool. Yeah.
I think that
death's door.
didn't
There it is.
class warfare have a whole bunch of death moves
Mm,
for the different classes in Dungeon World?
yeah, that sounds right.
That might be worth looking at to translate it
Hmm.
over to make it a little bit more unique.
Okay.
I'm okay with Death's Door 2 as written
Oh
from
yeah, yeah.
Dungeon World. It's
Force
fine on its
ghosts.
own.
That's
Force Ghost, yeah, exactly. So I just it was something I noticed was
Thank you.
missing.
No,
And
Mhm.
that's a great
yep.
question. I'm looking at class warfare right now, a thing that I know I have had for forever and have never explored. Wow, there's a lot to this. Okay. I don't know where to look in this, but I will find it. Sweet. This was fun.
Yeah.
I really love playing with this group. Looking forward to it. Oh yeah, you've already put it in the chat. I was like hunting for the Stovetop PDF, and you had already taken care of it for me. Thank you so much. With this, I'll bring the recording to a close. We'll see you guys next week.